All right, guys, it is that time of the week. Time for our Week 11 NFL predictions. I cannot believe we're already in Week 11. Week 11. Guys, I'm sorry I had to take last week off. The first week I didn't do projections this season because I was pretty sick, so my voice sounded horrible. It was just not the best time to film. But regardless, we're back for Week 11, and since we didn't get a chance to do it in our last video, we will look back on how we did in Week 9 and then see how our overall record is looking. But without further ado, guys, it's time for our Week 11 predictions. Comment your opinions. As always, we're going to start with Thursday Night Football, as we always do, between the Titans and Packers. Titans winning the division at 6-3. Packers surprisingly beat the Cowboys in overtime, so maybe they're getting back on track. They're 4-6. It's in Lambeau, and the Packers are favored. And I think that makes sense because I'm going to go with the Packers to win and cover. I think the Titans are kind of overrated. I think, obviously, Derrick Henry, probably the best running back in football. One of them. We all know how great he is. But the passing game, they barely utilize their receivers, and their defense isn't great. I just think the Titans are lucky to be in a really bad division, and I think the Packers are getting back on track a little bit. So I'm going to go with them to win with that home field advantage that they have. Next, we have Bears and Falcons. Justin Fields is breaking out a little bit, at least on the ground. Maybe not, he still has a lot to work on as a passer, but good to see him playing better. Falcons, they lost to the Panthers on Thursday Night Football. I mean, that's just unacceptable considering they have a chance to win that horrid NFC South. But they're at home against the Bears, and you know what? I think the Falcons have kind of blown their chance, personally, because I think the Bucs are getting better. They won 2 in a row. They go into their bye with momentum. I think the Bears win this game on the road and obviously cover because they're not favored. I just think their offense is actually looking pretty respectable, and the Falcons just are, it's starting to unravel a little bit, and they're starting to regress to where they probably should be, and that's not a very good football team. I don't see how they stop Justin Fields on the ground in this game, so I think the Bears win this game in Atlanta. Next, we have Browns and Bills. Bills lost to the Vikings. They should not have, but regardless, probably the game of the year. I love that game. Great to watch. But this is a good get-right spot against the Browns at home. Browns still don't have Deshaun Watson back. Still Jacoby Brissett. Their defense is kind of laughable. It's not very good, especially through the air. Josh Allen might throw a party now that he's kind of fully healthy again, and they're at home, and it's Josh Allen, and it's not really, and they want to get right? It's a good get-right spot. They're not going to lose 2 games in a row, so I will go with the Bills to win and cover. I don't think this will be that close of a game. -8 at home against the Browns. Then we have the Eagles and Colts. The Eagles rather, finally lost a game against the Commanders at home of all teams. And I personally thought they were going to lose at some point. That's why I've picked them to lose the last couple times, or at least a couple times in the last handful of weeks, just because I thought they were they didn't scream 17-0 to me. They have some weaknesses, so I thought at some point they would lose, and they have, which is good for them, I think. I think they needed to lose to maybe know what that's like. They don't have to deal with the pressure of going undefeated. So I think overall, in the big picture, long term, it's pretty good for the Eagles. This is a good get-right spot at the Colts. However, they're 1-0 with Jeff Saturday. Jeff Saturday has never lost as an NFL coach, and I'm not sure what the Colts are going to look like. But regardless, I still think the Eagles win this game in Indianapolis after the Colts won against the Raiders in Vegas. And I'll take the Eagles to cover the spread as well. I still think they're significantly better than the Colts, despite us maybe needing to see a little bit of this new-look Colts. And Matt Ryan is under center again, which I think he should be because he's clearly still better than Sam Ehlinger. So good choice by Jeff Saturday. Next, we have the Jets and Pats in New England, in Foxborough. The Pats won in New York, so do the Jets get revenge in their second divisional matchup? I'm actually going to say yes. Jets coming off their bye. Actually, both these teams coming off a bye, so they'll be well rested. I know Bill Belichick does really well defensively against young quarterbacks, but the Jets have been winning all year in spite of Zach Wilson, so I think it doesn't matter. As long as Zach Wilson doesn't throw 4 interceptions, which or maybe 3, which actually, now that I think of it, could happen. But regardless, I don't know. I just think they're both close teams, so it's a close matchup. Obviously, the spread indicates that as well. I just think the Jets are a pretty good team, and they're not going to lose twice to the Pats. That's just my opinion. I think they win in Foxborough. That'll be a low-scoring game because both defenses are pretty elite. Then we have the Rams and Saints, a game I will not watch at all when you consider that Cooper Kupp is going to be out for a while, maybe the whole year. Matthew Stafford might be back, but he's playing horrible. The Rams are just going downhill, 3-6. It's a disaster. The most disastrous season you could imagine from a team with the expectations that the Rams had and what the Rams did last year. Disastrous season. Saints, I mean, it's not pretty either. Michael Thomas isn't coming back. I doubt it. And I'm not watching this game. And the Saints are favored. I'll take the Saints to win in New Orleans because they're at home, but low scoring, ugly. Maybe I'll watch it for the couple Saints players that I have on my fantasy team, like Jarvis Landry, because I'm injury depleted. Don't judge me, okay? And I also have Chris Olave, so maybe I'll see that, but man, that's not a fun game at all. Lions and Giants. I'm surprised that the Giants are not favored by more. Only -3 for the 7-2 Giants at home against the Lions, who just won their first road game in the Dan Campbell era, surprisingly. And I just think the Lions, when they're playing an inferior opponent, they just do such a good job of establishing the run with Saquon, and they just dominate with their defense, and they just control the game. This will be similar, I think, to how they beat the Texans this last week. So I'll take the Giants to win and cover. Panthers and Ravens. Ravens at home, playing some of their best football, winning the division. Panthers going back to Baker Mayfield, shake and bake. I mean, is that going to make much of a difference? I'm going to say probably not, because who cares? And the Panthers are horrible. I mean, they did just come off a win. I'll take the Ravens to win and cover. I mean, I just don't see the Panthers going into Baltimore and really making this a close game. That's just my opinion, although this season has been pretty crazy. Then we have Commanders and Texans. Commanders coming off beating the undefeated Eagles, doing something that obviously no one else has done. The question is, will Carson Wentz be healthy for this game, and will they even go back to him? I hope not. I think this team's better with Taylor Heineke. There's just something a little more special about them with Taylor Heineke. I think the players know it too. Fans like him. I'm going to go with the Commanders to win and cover in Houston. It's just a disaster for the Texans. This is maybe the worst team in football. They have the worst record in football, so just kind of more of the same. I feel bad, but that's just the reality. Raiders and Broncos, two abysmally disappointing teams this season. I mean, both teams are horrible. I think both teams are kind of throwing in the towel. I mean, they'll both play hard, but I think both of them know the reality of this division, of this conference. It's just not going to happen for either team. I will take the Raiders to win and cover because I think the Broncos have been even more disappointing, just dropping 10 every game, 10 points, reaching 20 once, maybe. And, yeah. The Raiders still find a way to score. They just blow leads and they can't defend. I will go with the Raiders. Why not? Sure. Cowboys and Vikings. Look at this spread. -1, surprisingly in favor of the Cowboys, despite the Vikings being 2 games better, being at home, just coming off beating the Bills. What a great game this will be. This might be the game of the week. I'm going to go with the Vikings to win. I think their momentum looks good. They're at home. But I could see the Cowboys winning as well because Kirk Cousins does not play well against the Cowboys. So we'll see. It just depends, I think, on, the start of this game, I think, matters if the Vikings can establish the run. And we'll see. We will definitely see. That one could really go either way. I just like the Vikings right now because of the momentum that they have coming off the win against the Bills and the Cowboys having lost to the Packers. But we will see. That's a great game. Bengals and Steelers in Pittsburgh. Steelers are an ugly team to watch. Bengals coming off their bye. Not the greatest O-line. We know this story, but they're clearly the better team, I think. I think they win and cover in Pittsburgh. I just think that offense is too much for the Steelers to keep up with, and I don't think the Steelers' offense is just not going to be able to keep up with the Bengals, despite the fact that they don't have Jamar Chase. Then it's Chiefs and Chargers for Sunday Night Football. Back-to-back Sunday Night Footballs for the Chargers. Chargers are 5-4, but they've been disappointing. I mean, I know they're just depleted by injuries. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, they haven't played in a while. And the question is, will Keenan Allen be back? I'm not sure. I mean, Justin Herbert's just not been the same. It's not entirely his fault. His O-line is hurt as well. But, yeah, I mean, plus 6.5 at home. I'm going to think, you know what? When these two teams play, it's always a close game. And so I'm going to go with the Chiefs to win this game because I think they're playing much better right now. But I will take the Chargers to cover the spread. Let's make it a close game. Why not? But I think Chiefs win this game. And last but not least, Monday Night Football in Mexico between the 49ers and the Cardinals. Plus 8 for the Cardinals. Wow. The Cardinals are technically the home team. They're coming off a win against the Rams, which doesn't count. And then the 49ers, they beat the Chargers. This is close. I mean, this actually is a very important game divisionally. Will Kyler Murray be back? I think he will. I'm going to go with the Cardinals to win this game. This will be an upset, definitely. I think the Cardinals, they should be better than their record is, 4-6. Maybe they build off that last win. I don't know. I'm just not fully buying the 49ers either. That's going to be a really close game. I just like the Cardinals kind of, because I'm in Arizona, so maybe I'm biased with them. But I don't know. I think they're going to beat them. I do. I think it's going to be a little bit of a surprise. I think the Cardinals know they have to play better, and I think they're continuing to do that. This is a surprisingly good defense, actually. So I think they might give Jimmy G some trouble. So we'll see how that goes, guys. Those are my Week 11 predictions. And quickly before we go, in Week 9, I went 8-5, so just pretty good. And that brings our overall record on the season to 78-58. So doing all right on the season. Been an exciting, unpredictable season. Guys, make sure to comment your opinions as always. Give me your Week 11 predictions. And like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't done so. And you're an NFL fan, why not? And should be another great week of football. Thanks again, guys. And I'll see you all in the next one.